Hello everybody, today we continue to discuss about the CSF, Cerebrospinal Fluid, and we need to study, we learn part 2, then you need to watch the video part 1, because in the part 1 we studied some basic terminology or basic concept of the CSF and the structures of the the cavity, how to produce and how to make the CSF. Now, I just quick review about the structures of the cavity. In that, they produce or secrete the CSF in the central nervous system. Just quick review. And here, this is your cerebral hemisphere. I just make the simple diagram. So this we call cerebral hemisphere. Cerebral hemisphere. And then here we have the midbrain. And then we have bones, and then we have medulla. And here, of course, this is the spinal cord. This. Here, midbrain. And then here, bones. And here, medulla. And here, spinal cord. Then inside the central nervous system here, we have the cavity, and that cavity produces the CSF. So let me draw again. Here, deep inside the cerebral hemisphere, we have two thalami. This. You know this already in the last video. Two thalami. So this one we call thalamus, and then plural, two we call thalami. And here, what we have here, the cavity here, in the left, in the right, and in the left side. And this we call lateral ventricle. What it is? Lateral ventricle. Ventricle is like a sac or a bag to contain or to contain something or to keep something inside. So we call ventricle. Yeah. Now, and then here, from here to here, and here we have two holes. This right ventricle connect with left ventricle by these two holes, and they connect with the third ventricle here. Down to here we have the third ventricle. This we already know in the last video. I just recite. Here is we call the third ventricle, and here third ventricle is the cavity of the diencephalon, and here we have cerebral aqueduct here. Okay, at the midbrain we have cerebral aqueduct, and then here what we have from here, here they start to expand here, from here to here, to bone, yeah. And then here we also have two holes also, and then it is closing here from this point, and at the mid of the middle of the medulla, and then it start to closing. It start to close here from this point, and then they go deep inside the spinal cord here. So here we have the central canal. Here we have central canal. Central canal is the space or the cavity of the spinal cord. And then here we have fourth ventricle. What we have here? Fourth ventricle. And here we have third ventricle. What we call here? Third ventricle. So again, now you see we have lateral ventricle. As I told you in the last video, then we don't have first and second ventricle. We just call that lateral ventricle. We don't have first and second, but we have third. Okay, and then we have fourth ventricle. And then now you see here, the lateral ventricle is the cavity of the telencephalon. The third ventricle is the cavity of diencephalon. And the cerebral aqueduct here is the cavity of the midbrain, or we can call that mesencephalon. And the fourth ventricle is the cavity of the bones and medulla, and then we call that rhombencephalon. And here is the central canal is the cavity of the spinal cord. Now, there is a structure inside this cavity, and this structure will secrete or produce the CSF. Now I will draw it. So let's suppose this structure look like this. It is present in the lateral ventricle here. This, and on the third ventricle we also have this. And on the fourth ventricle here, on the roof of the fourth ventricle, we also have this structure. So now this structure means the CSF will be produced or secretes in the lateral ventricle, in the third ventricle, in the fourth ventricle. They produce the CSF. And then now, let me enlarge this structure, and then you look at inside and what exact the structure. And what is the name of this structure? The name of this structure is called this structure. It is like a finger-like projection. Right? This structure we call choroid plexus. What we call choroid plexus. Now I will draw the simple diagram, the structure of the choroid plexus, because it produces what? CSF, or secretes CSF. Now I will draw the simple diagram of that, and you can see. For example, let's suppose this is the brain substance. This is the brain substance. Right? Let's image this is the brain substance. And then you know brain substance is covered by meninges. The most inner layer of the brain substance, it is covered by what layer? The name of this layer we call biameter. This we call biameter. So you know this already in the video when I discussed about the meninges of the central nervous system. So this layer outside the brain substance, we have the meninges, and they have 3 layers. But the most inner layer is a biameter. Okay, now let's suppose this is the space. The cavity, right? This is the cavity of the brain substance. And you know what you have here. You know, inside the cavity, it is lining on the cavity inside the brain substance, or inside the central nervous system. On the cavity is covered or lining by one type of cell, and this cell what we call This cell is we call ependymal cell. This cell we call ependymal cell. Again, I tell you again. So on the cavity in the central nervous system is covered by ependymal cell. For example, this is a cavity and this is the ependymal cell here. It's covered, or it is lying here on the surface of this. Right? Now, outside you see, this is we have the artery. We have the vascular system, right? A vessel. Here we have the artery. This artery go inside. It's go inside the cavity here. This artery we call choroidal artery. Choroidal artery. So choroidal artery is a big vessel, right? Then when this choroidal artery go inside the cavity and it will make the loop like this. This loop we call capillary loop, right? And then it go outside. So the vessel go outside we call choroidal vein. This is a vein. Of course, when the blood come inside, of course they will go outside. Okay, in and out. So if the vessel go inside we call artery, and then if the vessel go outside we call vein. And the small here, they make the loop here. This we call capillary. Now, you know that this is the diameter. And this diameter, let me draw. This diameter also go inside and cover the vascular system here. It's cover the artery, capillaries, and vein here. Now I will draw outside and you see. This is artery and go inside, make capillaries like this. And then go outside. Go outside. Right? And it's covered by what? This is diameter here. Diameter. See? Now, this diameter with the vascular system here, including the artery, vein, and capillary here. And what we call this, the whole structure is covering by diameter here. Then this structure we call tila choroidea. What we call tila choroidea. Right? And now inside you see, this is a ependymal cell. And of course, this structure, tila choroidea, is also covered. I will make the black color, but here is a black color. Yeah, see? Okay. And it's also covered by this part, ependymal cell. So this ependymal cell here is covered this structure, vascular structure, tila choroidea. And now, tila choroidea is covered by ependymal cell. Then the whole structure, this whole structure, what we call choroid plexus. Now you understand why we call choroid plexus? And this is the choroid plexus. It is present in the lateral ventricle, third ventricle, and fourth ventricle. Right. Now you see, again, I will recite. Choroid plexus is made of what? It's made of the vascular system. Choroidal artery, choroidal vein, and this capillary. And here, outside the vein and artery, it is covered by what? Diameter. And then outside also covered by ependymal cell. The whole structure we call choroidal or choroid plexus. Now you know already that choroid plexus is the structure in the inside the cavity of the central nervous system produce the CSF. Then in the next video, I will share with you the exactly how in detail about how the choroid plexus how they make CSF. Thank you so much.